A shoot shall come out from the stock of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. The Spirit of the Lord shall rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of the knowledge and fear of the Lord. His delight shall be in the fear of the Lord. He shall not judge by what his eyes see, or decide by what his ears hear, but with righteousness he shall judge the poor, and decide with equity for the meek of the earth. He shall strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall kill the wicked. Righteousness shall be the belt around his waist, and faithfulness the belt around his loins. The wolf shall live with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the lion and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them. The cow and the bear shall graze, their young shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw with the ox. The nursing child shall play over the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the adder's den. They will not hurt or destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea.
This season of Advent, we in Devana Parish Church are going to be producing a weekly series for online worship, in addition to the live on-site services that we will be streaming each Sunday morning. For our online worship, we are focusing on 4 passages from the book Isaiah. Now, we may dip into these during our on-site worship too, but they will be our primary inspiration here online. We often draw on the writings and sayings of the prophets whose words have been collected together in the book of Isaiah during the season of Advent. For they speak into a sense of expectation and anticipation that something is about to change. This week is the first week in Advent, and we heard read the stunning evocative language that begins Isaiah chapter 11. The imagery is startling, full of wondrous juxtapositions: wolves and lambs living in harmony, leopards and kids snuggling together, lions turning vegetarian, while children play with venomous snakes. The story behind the words, however, has a more stark outlook. For these words were written in the context of an assault on the house of Jerusalem, the royal kingdom, at the hands of the Assyrians. The prophet's writing is, on one hand, full of judgment as it describes the lamentable state of the kingdom and God's use of the Assyrians to bring that judgment. But it is also full of hope for what is to come, and a new, restored and wonderfully peaceable kingdom to follow under the leadership of an inspired new king. Edward Hicks was a Quaker minister and a painter born in 1780 in Pennsylvania. And this passage from Isaiah clearly struck a chord with him in his own context. He painted numerous different versions of the peaceable kingdom, perhaps near 100 in total. And they were based around his own belief that Pennsylvania might be the fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy of a place where justice and peace might thrive. Despite, or perhaps because of his naive style, these images have become quite iconic. And we're going to look at a couple of examples of Hicks's work. In each of his depictions, there are representations both of what has gone wrong, what is broken, and about the new thing that is happening. In this first image, we see the different creatures together. The eyes of the big cats boring right into your soul, and all seems peaceable and at rest, the young tending to the creatures. But look in the top right, into the forest, and you see the dead, broken tree in the shadows. Now, this was painted some 10 years after a big rift in the Society of Friends in 1820 over matters of theology and anti-slavery. And that rift in his denomination is represented by the wrecked tree in the background, and yet hope for justice prevails. The second image seems similar initially, but look at what is happening in the background of this image. Here we see a meeting between colonists and indigenous peoples of North America. This is a depiction of William Penn and other Quakers making a treaty with the Native Americans to live peaceably together. Penn oversaw the foundation of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as a refuge for Quakers and other religious groups who were fleeing Europe. The hopes and aspirations of people seeking a new beginning, a new home, albeit we know that this came at a cost, treaty notwithstanding, for the Native Americans. Those treaties did not last. In our own time, we see division all around the world, with the ramifications of violence and distrust on our TV screens each night, with what had seemed enduring, whether that be the hope of peace on the European continent, or even that an iconic tree, such as the Sycamore Gap tree, a movie star in its own right, could be cut down, broken, lost. Into such a time as this, still comes the image of a peaceable kingdom that we should continue to strive towards. It is no wonder that generations of followers of Jesus have looked back at this text and see Jesus as the one who does indeed lead to such a new way of living, where old divisions are healed, where those who thought themselves bitter enemies become friends. From the stumps of division, can something new grow? This is our constant hope. And perhaps even when everything seems lost, there may be hope. It may just be that from the stump of that sycamore tree along Hadrian's wall, that new growth may form. We need patience and hope. But more of that from Mary.
A tree cut down, deliberately or planned, the tree of life, with special connection to the world. The tree of our life, cut down by war and conflict, racism and discrimination, betrayal and treachery. The tree of our life, suddenly gone and dead, causing pandemonium, from love to fury, from joy to grief, from ecstasy to despair, leaving behind the stump of what was in our life, barren and hopeless. Time stopped, death as inevitable end. But over time, silently and hidden from view, a new shoot appears, small and weak. Another shoot appears, vulnerable and helpless. More shoots appear, forming a protective support. These new shoots of God within each one of us communicate the depth of our hearts and souls. Look beyond our bare stump. New life is being born. New shoots, new hope, new beginning. You are not alone. From the stump of our life, God is in the shoots, radiating beauty of new birth, the presence of the Spirit reaching out, reassuring with love, healing with forgiveness, inspiration of peace, the incarnation of God.
Starting out its life in the garden.
Tiny little seed, watered by the rain, silently beginning on its journey. Tiny little shoot, peeping through the soil, putting down its roots in the garden. New life has begun, beauty yet to come. Just one tiny seed can change the garden. New life has begun, beauty yet to come. Just one tiny seed can change the garden.
Tiny little bud, opening its leaves, reaching for the sunlight in the heavens. Delicate and new, colors shining through, giving out a fragrance in the garden.
New life has begun, beauty yet to come. Just one tiny seed can change the garden. New life has begun, beauty yet to come. Just one tiny seed can change the garden. Tiny little flower, in among the weeds, prickles and the thorns have taken over. Such a cruel place, hard to find a space.
No more little flower in the garden. Broken,
broken,
open,
open,
broken,
broken,
open.
open.
Many little seeds floating on the wind, new life springing from the broken flower, beauty here to stay, never